Ultimate Traders, Nathan from Queens, December 17th, 2022. So I was probably going to make a couple of videos a couple of weeks ago, but actually been sick for like the last 2 weeks. I have been taking Robitussin, but I mean, I have a blood circulation issue. So if I try to go outside in the cold, it's really not good for my health. And to tell you the truth, the reason why I got into real estate was because in 2016, towards the end of 2016, I was actually hospitalized for my blood circulation issue. And because that, when I was hospitalized, I decided at that point in time that I should do something for passive income just in case, like I stay in the hospital or things go really, really south. So in life, like when you go through a lot of different experiences, you want to prepare yourself for just in case, and I'm risk adverse. So I try to be outside and work out 2 weeks ago, December. I mean, it was not that cold. It was like 50 degrees outside, which is not so cold. But I was trying to work out, 50 degrees. And ever since that day, I've been weak. And now I'm weak and have the cold. So let's get into that. But sorry, I haven't done any videos in about 3 or 4 weeks. I haven't been trading that much either. I have made just a couple of trades. That's going to be video 4. But I'm going to do 4 videos today. The first video is important because a lot of people are going to be worried after 8 goons post-pandemic Furus. A Furu is a financial guru. 8 different financial Furus are being investigated by SEC for gains of over $100 million in pump and dump penny stocks. So I'm going to go over that in video 1. Video 2, like when the market's falling, that's a video that I want to tell you what I would buy. Video 3, state of the market. Video 4, my plans of trading. So to go into this, there's a lot of people that haven't been trading very long. When people trade or they try to say they're a guru or they're awesome, and immediately I ask them how long you've been trading. Because if you started trading post-pandemic, like April, May of 2020 and beyond, give me a break. And the NASDAQ fell from 10,000 to 6,000 and went up to 16,200 in a span of a year. Everyone was a genius. So let's not go for that. Even if you've been trading since 2010, the last real bear market was 2008. I don't count March of 2020 because it was a bear market for less than 30 days. And the Fed put us at 0.125 interest rates and pummeled $6 trillion into the market. And this is where we are. So if you have not been trading at least 10 years and you don't know what it's like to be in a bear market, just make yourself feel better and say you're a Furu. But come on, now we see what's going on. Like I always say in other videos, if you want to prove that you're doing this great, you got to make those gains for 10 years straight. Why 10 years? Why 10 years? Because Mama Wood, Kathy Wood, that everyone is saying was God, a goddess, she could do no wrong. She could do no wrong. Opened up in 2014 close to $20 on ARK. And now it's $33 and it's headed there. It's headed there. But we're not going to go into that. But you could see what happened. So she was as high. ARK was high as I think 160 or a little higher than 160. And it's 32 right now. So you could have 8 awesome years and get pummel in the end. I've been tweeting her to look up Janus 20. You can look up Janus 20 of the 90s. The peak of the Janus funds was close to 400 billion. 400 billions in 1999. You know what $400 billion is right now? It's $1 trillion was in Janus 20. See where Janus 20 is right now. But because Janus 20 rose like that from like, I think 5 billion to almost 400 billion in like 4 or 5 years in the 90s, that's what got me to want to be the money manager. Fortunately, the stock market crashed in 2000, and I wanted nothing to do with managing money or helping anyone, and then AMC and GameStop. But that's not what the video is about. This video is about the rules, okay? Back in the 90s, when I was 16, I decided to take more classes in school so that, when I'm 17, my senior year of high school, I can get out early from school. So I would show up at my stockbroker's office in the city, right near Wall Street, JB Oxford. I would show up there on Fridays. And then my senior year in high school, there are other days that I got out early. So I got a chance to meet a stockbroker that was in his 30s. I was 16, that introduced me to everybody. And because I was a little kid, he wanted to bring me around. I was lucky too. And everyone that he brought me around to was like, wow, this kid memorized all this stuff and has all these journals and writes everything down. Because this is the 90s. I didn't have a cell phone in 1994. I started trading when I was 14. I had to read the Wall Street Journal every day. And the reason why I'm saying that is back then, there was no social media like this. We were doing stocks on AOL message boards. Yahoo message boards. AOL message boards were big time. AOL chat rooms, I think the max in the beginning was 23 people. I got AOL, I got internet finally in 1997. So it was 23 people. I think eventually it got to 36. And then around 1998, 1999, it was Pal Talk. Pal Talk allowed chat rooms with 100 people, and you could be in different chat rooms at the same time. So we went on AOL chat rooms. We were on AOL message boards, Yahoo message boards, and eventually moved over to Pal Talk. And when the stock market crashed, I no longer wanted to be admin. I no longer wanted to do anything with the market. I was trading for myself. Once the market crashed, I took a break like 3 or 4 months, and whatever the case is. But in the 90s, email bombs. So people on the message boards, not somehow, it would say your AOL screen name or the Yahoo username. And people would take the usernames and do email bombs. Email bombs are pump and dump. Now, I didn't do email bombs. But people would start doing email bombs, and they would send out an email with CC of 25 people. So when I got an email bomb with 25 people, I was like, wow, this stock might move. So what you do, you put the symbol and you take a look. Now, in 1997, I didn't have streaming stock quotes. Every 15 minutes, the stock would refresh. I'd have to hit the button. So that's another reason why I started going to market makers' office. I actually met real life market makers. So real life market makers, they had the streaming quotes, and they had level 3 in the 70s. In the 90s, sorry. They had level 3 in the 90s. Level 3 and level 2. Level 3, you hit a button and the order goes through. Level 2 shows you the orders. But we're not going into that. So mail bombs. So 25, you saw 25 correspondence. You could put the symbol in, and it wouldn't move that much. Once you got to like 100 people in email, we were like, Jesus, this is going to be huge. You know what happened to those people? They got fined, and I think a lot of them no longer trade. No longer trade. So the reason why, like, everyone is afraid, and it doesn't matter if you say in a video or you write on Reddit or you write, this is not financial advice. If you say in a video or you write something on the internet, it's gonna have to either be facts of the company, or it has to be educational or entertainment. Anything that the SEC, if the SEC wants to go after you, they're gonna go after you if you write, this is not financial advice every single time, if you go after every video, because they're gonna check your intent. And who are you fooling? These 8 people that were Furus are kids. I don't care if they're 30 years old. They're kids because they're nothing. They don't know about the stock market. They don't know about the SEC. Because when you open up a brokerage account, right? And you're going to have to do your taxes. Even if you don't do your taxes, the brokerage reports to the IRS. So when they report to IRS, Don't you think it's very, very easy to SEC to get all your trades? So let me ask you something. If you keep saying this is not financial advice, or you go on Discord, right? And you start mentioning these tickers, and then they look at the trades. So this is if the SEC wants to come after you. Like I just said, regardless of what you say, if your trades show you were making money solely on these pump and dumps, and they go to Discord or they go to Twitter and they look at the symbols, and they look at your DD, they see that all you were doing was buying first and then selling it to the crowd, other people are losing, people are reporting you. Come on. Now, if you do it one time, you can probably get away. If you are in for the ride, don't worry. You weren't saying on social media. You weren't saying on YouTube. You weren't saying on Twitter. But this is what you could say on YouTube. Just like I'm saying on YouTube, or if you check my videos or check my Reddit, what I do is state the facts of a company. All right? You're allowed to state the facts of a company. You can say how much they earned, how much they sold. If you want to project, if you want to speculate, you have to say I'm speculating. This is what I feel is going to be the earnings. And a good way to go into that, to segue into that, is to say why. Say why. Because if the SEC feels that you're a pump and dump, it's not going to be right away that you're a pump and dump. If they feel you're a pump and dump and enough people lost money and reported you, they're going to look at your videos and see why you were saying what you were saying. Were you in the stock? Were you getting out of the stock? What? Why? So a lot of people are saying things, making things up that don't make sense. Don't go with what the company is saying. So when you just speculate and you just pull out numbers and you pull out stuff that's not facts, and you try to convince people that they are facts, when you try to convince people that DATS is going to replace WhatsApp, or you want to try to say that you contacted the CEO of CEI, and on Twitter they show that they did. I mean, that's not the smartest thing to do. And then these guys are showing that they have Rolexes, cars. Come on, kids, I had Rolex and cars 20 years ago, but we're not even going to go into that. But these guys are showing Rolex and cars. Okay, if this is the SEC, right? This is the SEC, right? So they can contact the IRS easily, see what you reported, a couple of years ago. Then all of a sudden they can see what you were making in 2020, 2021, and check if you were paying taxes on it. Hopefully you were paying taxes on it. If you weren't paying taxes on it, even worse. But then you have all these cars, you have all this stuff, and you're showing off. Come on, kids. But let's go back into that. And the reason why you don't want it, like if you have a series, so what you would do, if the stock market wasn't going to crash, I was actually going to be on CNBC in the summer of the year 2000. But in March, everything crashed. I think I sold everything in either April or May. I'm not sure, but I sold everything. I was going to be on CNBC in the year 2000 in the summer. Everything crashed. I did whatever the case is, So everything crashed in the year 2000. And, I didn't want to do it. But if everything would have kept going through the roof, I would have got first a Series 7, a Series 65, a Series 63, a Series 55. The reason why that if you're a licensed financial advisor, you're licensed to do stocks, you're licensed to do trades, you know better than to come on social media or on YouTube or anywhere on the internet and give out advice, because the liabilities is very, very high. You wouldn't do it if you had those licenses, because no brokerage is going to keep you on, because they're going to see what kind of liability. Now, if you have all those licenses and you don't want to work for anybody and practice on your own with all those licenses, I guess you could make videos and stuff. But then what are you doing? You're doing it to be a front loader, because these guys that got caught were front loaders, meaning they were buying it first and putting it onto the followers. You know, they were front loaders. I mean, if that's what you want to be, you're going to get caught. And it's going to be even worse because you have Series 7, 63, 65, 55. It looks even worse. But I mean, this is going to look bad for these 8 people, whatever. Most of them block me. I don't even care. But what I'm saying is, don't be so worried about this is not financial advice. They're going to look at your intent. They're going to see what you're saying. Does what you're saying make any sense? You know, why? If what you're saying doesn't make any sense, do not make it seem like facts. Do not come out and say that AMC is making money. Do not come out and say GameStop is making money. If you want to say GameStop is going to make money in 2023, why? Why are they going to make money in 2023? What is the trajectory? What do you see? Why? If you just come out and say they're making money without reasonable reasons, and the stock goes up, and they found out you bought it and you sold it, whether or not you put it was financial advice, if you were the leader and you had a whole bunch of people pushing it, they're coming after you. If they decide to do it, regardless of what you say. Let's even say we're not even talking about a stock company. We're talking about a chart. Because before everything was coming down hard, I have a whole bunch of people that I'm following on Twitter. They make promises. They do this challenge, $100 to $1,000. $1,000 to $10,000. Got someone that says $500 to $2 million. I offered the guy $10 million to see his trades. He's saying he made $500 to $2 million. I offered a kid $1,000. He said he made from $16 to like $30,000 in a month. I'm getting blocked by them all. I don't even care. I'm trying to say that I'll pay you cash so I can see what you did, how, why, what. You know, other followers are sheep. And that's who the SEC is doing their best to protect the sheep. So if these Furus have a lot of followers, and these followers are promising like 100 to 1,000, 10 to 100, and enough people are being influenced, so the real rule is we're not supposed to be manipulating stock price. You can say that GameStop is short 21%. You can say that AMC is short 19%. You cannot say, let's all make the shorts cover. If the SEC wants to come after you, they can. They can. You cannot influence others to buy the stock to force people to cover. That is illegal. That is illegal. Now, because Keith Gill is not arrested, you know, I have to say it's not kosher. What he did is not kosher. Because right now, like Sam Fried is fraud. I can say he's fraud because he's in prison. You also don't want to say things about someone until it's proven. Right now, it's proven that Sam is fraud. You know, so I already know, because I've been doing this forever, that what Keith Gill is not kosher. So I'm just going to say it's not kosher. And Elon Musk, I could just say is a magician, because I shouldn't be on video or anything like that saying what I really feel about Elon Musk. But now others can see, you know, what I said about Elon Musk is real. But back to over this. So if you got a Furu that has 100,000 followers, and they're going in and buying stuff based on this guy that's doing these challenges, or let's not even go to challenges, let's go to charts. You got someone during the pandemic, by the way, because charts work in a bull market. Charts do not work in a bear market, okay? Because the idea is all smart money, not apes. The idea is all smart money are going to look at the same type of charts, right? That's the idea. That when the RSI is low, stochastics are turning and candlesticks are getting big and green, that's when you want to buy. Or you want to see the EMA cross, okay? That's the idea. That's in a bull market that works. But in a bear market, there's fear. So when you put fear into it, you can have something going green because charts are past tense. You can have a chart looking good and then fear. And then fear. So if you have even a chartist that comes out and says, this works every single time. If another people complain about the Furu, because the Furu is saying this works every single time. The Furu is saying, I'm the best. I am the best. You do this, you follow this on the chart, you make money. And they see the intent that you constantly saying the same things, that this works every single time. When some people lose, they're going to go after you, regardless of whether or not you say this is not financial advice. Even if you're doing educational, okay, you're influencing others to make a decision. You can say, this is the chart that I use. This is the technique, the strategy that I use. And when I use it, I'm right most of the time. You cannot say that this works every single time over and over again and keep repeating over and over and over again every single day that this is going to win. Because the minute people lose, and if they want to report you or they want to sue you, guess what? You're going to have lawyers on retainer. You're going to have lawyers on retainer. What I do, like what I do on Reddit, or what I even did last week, and I have the proof because I emailed Zim. I got responses from Zim, the company. These came straight from the company. When you start saying something news is news, but it's not news, that's when you can get in trouble. So I did email Zim. I wanted Zim to know, for one, mainly, that the stock price does not make any sense to what the company is doing, because the company has $4.4 billion in cash, $250 million in debt. $250 million in debt. The whole company, based on the stock price, is worth $2.2 billion right now. So they have more money in cash. And also because they just made over $1 billion the last 3 months. So I wanted them to know that first. Then I wanted them to know that analysts are saying that sales are going to be close to $7 billion and they're supposed to earn $2.89 on the $7 billion in sales. What you need to know, and what I wanted to know, is in the year 2019, this is before the pandemic, Zim had sales of $3.3 billion and they made $386 million. These are facts. They made $386 million. 120 million shares are in Zim right now. So if analysts are saying earnings of $2.89, that $3 times 120 million shares is $3 times 120 million shares of 360 million. So what analysts are saying is that they're earning less than $3, $2.89. So they're going to earn less in 2023 than in 2019, and sales are doubling and the company's better. Now, Zim didn't say that, but what you want to do is you want to tell the people that you're emailing a company, if you're speaking to them, because there are only certain things that they can answer. So I wanted to give them the facts, have them see what I see, and get a response. So the response was, and this came from Zim, that they didn't tell the analysts. The analysts are coming out with these numbers. Now, they also said that they're a lot stronger now than 2019. They didn't want to go with me either. I was saying earnings should be about $10 or closer. $10 are closer to at least $1.2 billion in earnings, because they're going to have sales of close to $7 billion. But that's me saying I feel they should have $7 billion in sales. And on those $7 billion in sales, they should earn at least $1.2 billion. Now, they couldn't agree with that either. They couldn't agree with that, but they have no clue where the analysts are coming out with 289. So that was important to me, that they didn't know what the analysts, where they came out with. And they said they were much stronger now than in 2019. So that tells me that, maybe I'm not right. Maybe they don't earn $10, but the analysts at 289, cuckoo. So those are the things that you could say. And you can say, this is what I see. This is what I see and why. As soon as you say things that are like facts, if you have enough followers, if you influence enough people, and you trade a stock, and they see that you're in the stock first, and then you sold the stock and didn't tell them. So another big issue right here with these 8 guys, and with me, like I say, when I get in the stock, and I tell people what I feel is fair value. I don't tell you that CEI is worth $5. And then when it goes to $4, tell you it's worth $10. You guys don't know what price I bought at. You don't know when I'm going to sell. And that SEC doesn't like that either, because you're not being honest with anyone. They don't know when you sold, how many times you sold, and at what prices to get what gains. But I'm posting my trades on Reddit and Twitter, full trades. I'm actually doing screenshots of full trades. So those are things that I do. How many Furus are posting full trades? I actually don't see anyone that posts full trades. I'm the only one that posts full trades pretty much every single time. I would say at least 75% of my trades are posted. This full trade is posted. Sometimes I see a P&L, a percentage, but it doesn't show me the full trade in, when I bought it, and when I sold. So that's a lot more with the followers. So these guys were buying these stocks first, pumping it. One guy was pumping it, the other guy was pumping it, another guy's pumping it. They were going on Discord, on YouTube, on a podcast, and every time they would pump it, it would go a little higher, and they would dump. Like they would take turn dumping. All right, so I'm sorry this video is long, but it's pretty important. So you only want to state facts. You want to state facts. You don't want to speculate so much. If you want to speculate, you have to say that this is what I see. This is why I see. You want to make videos that are either educational or entertainment. When you start making videos and they can see that you're trying to influence people, are you making posts on Reddit, or you're tweeting about stock signs, and you're trying to influence, you're trying to force, you're trying to say that you're the best, that you don't lose, and you're getting other people to believe it, and they jump in, and when they jump in and then you sell, if they're losing money and report you, regardless of what you say, don't worry, they're coming after you. Don't worry. Right now, it's a wild, wild west right now, because SEC cannot turn off social media. I don't really know a solution here, because if you turn off Twitter, there's Discord. If you turn off Discord, there's Twitter. If you turn off those two, there's stock twits. If you turn off all of those, there's Reddit. So I really don't know. And there's WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is all encrypted. So I really don't know. It's a really, really difficult thing right here. But I mean, you guys could take advantage of all the speed, because look at COSM. It went from $2 pre-market yesterday to, I think, $24 yesterday, December 16th. And I'm going to go over that in video 4. Sorry about this long video, but this is important, what you can and what you can't say.